Welcome to Tasting the Peninsula. I'm Eric Little, your host.
And I'm Jeff Angell.
We are in the seaport of Bremerton at a little place called Harvey's Butter Rum. And they make the most incredible drinks and popcorn and such. Come on in. You're going to enjoy this one.
Let's see if Jimmy Stewart's here.
I heard he was.
Hello.
Stacy, hi.
Eric, and
we're so
welcome.
excited.
We are too. We love to share Harvey's.
There's
And we
some
love to drink
incredible
Harvey's.
smells outside
Oh,
from what you're producing in that kitchen.
Today's Toffee Popcorn Day,
well, it's exciting.
so the neighborhood loves it.
Stacy, show us where the magic happens. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we're great. So excited to have you too. Let's go
Awesome.
on in. Come on in.
Wow, everything's as clean as a high-grade winery here. I like it. So what do we do here?
So this is kind of our dry storage area. So you can see it's pretty full with a lot of different things right now because besides our hot buttered rum batter, we actually do specialty popcorns under the Harvey's label and then Casey's kettle corn. So we have boxes that are ready to go out, and then we have packaging and some equipment back here. The team is busy.
I like that.
Yes, especially this time of year. So it's air popped, and we use multiple types of seed or popcorn seed. And this big guy right here is our Creator's popper, and so it'll pop about 100 pounds of seed an hour.
Wow.
And so,
And that's beautifully popped too. I mean, it's so even and round. The kernel sizes are all really the same. I mean, nice.
So that barrel rolls the seed or the kernel,
yes, yes.
and that's where it gets heated up by the air.
It is, and it runs through this. So it's sifted 3 times while we make our toffee popcorn. So it's sifted in the popper. It goes into another feeding unit, and then it also gets on the on the table when we start getting it ready for packaging. So we triple sift.
Interesting.
And this particular corn, you were mentioning that it's very round. It's a special kind. It's called mushroom.
Really?
And so you can see.
Well, it's so perfectly round. I mean, and all the kernels are almost exactly the same size.
Yeah.
It never looks like that when I pop corn at home.
You probably use a butterfly, and that's what they use in a lot of movie theaters.
Yes.
And they have different tastes, different textures.
And my heat is never even. Well, shall we see
So
where the sweet
you
stuff
can
is?
kind
Where
of
the
see here.
incredible
We've got a little
smells are coming from.
Okay, well, come on in. So we are just
Oh,
That
Just
smells
poured.
so wonderful.
come on in. The kettles are hard at work right now, so she's actually pouring a mixture in right now that is the butter and the sugar and the flavoring.
And you use all natural ingredients. I mean, that's real butter, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I like that.
And so we start it, we preheat it, and then it goes into the kettles, and we have timers on everything because it has to cook to just the right temperature to get that nice crisp, rich buttery flavor. And then we air popped our corn this morning, and it'll get go in the kettle here shortly. So it's just getting ready. It needs to cool a little bit, and then it'll go. We have bags that line the totes, and then it goes in there. And then you want to see what happens next?
I do.
While we're waiting for the kettles to unload. So it actually then goes into this table, which is another sifting unit. So there's our third sift, and then it's going to feed up in here into the hopper.
And that looks like melting butter.
Yep, so she's getting the slurry up to temperature so that it's ready to go into the kettles, because you don't want to shock the kettles when you're making the slurry. They'll stir it and cool it, and we don't use any other like lecithin or anything. Like I said, it's very pure, and so that way they actually have to break the toffee up when it's warm, when it's warm, so that it's in the pieces in the bag. Yeah, so it doesn't stick together.
I love the cleanliness and purity of what you make. I can't wait to taste it.
Oh, well, we'll make that happen. So you can see they're steaming away. They've got rotation in the inside just to keep it from burning and sticking. And after it comes up the conveyor belt, Eric, it goes into the hopper, and this is a scale that weighs it out.
Oh, so you have exact measurements in each bag.
So we have measurements, And so, our toffee, we really try to make sure that it's very evenly coated in the mixing process, because if it's not, then your bags are going to have different weight,
Yes.
They're going to have different volume versus weight.
They won't all look the same.
Yeah, exactly. So we program in different weights depending on what blend of product we're doing, because obviously the cheese weighs a little different than the toffee does.
Absolutely.
And you can see each bag is hand filled. And then if we move across right over here, it goes through this band sealer.
And that's a heat unit that seals the top?
It is. So it seals it on the top, and then it puts a date code on here so that people know the freshness. And then we added a zipper to ours because so you can open it and then close it back up.
Although I have a feeling there aren't many leftovers when people open up. In my house.
Yeah, people say this is our self-serve bag, the single-serve bag, but it can be a little addicting. So when it sifts, there's these bins underneath right over here, and all that scrap we bag up and give to a pig farmer, a local pig farmer.
I bet those are happy pigs.
Oh, yeah. They're very, very happy.
Great.
So
that's awesome. All right, and what is this giant mixer looking thing over here?
Okay, so that giant mixer is what we use to make the butter rum batter. This piece right here is actually a pumping unit that goes into the bowl. The batter gets pumped up, and there's the hopper over there upside down actually sits on top, and the batter goes into that. But the cups go in here, and it rotary fills.
Well, everyone knows your batter on the Olympic Peninsula, and we are tasting the Peninsula, so maybe it's time to taste some batter.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. Oops, careful.
This is so exciting. It's always my favorite part is the tasting.
The tasting, but it's the favorite time of year too.
It is. I mean, there's no better time for a good hot buttered rum, and Harvey's is the best. But you have special stuff to show us. I see heat. What are we going to do?
Well, one of the things about Harvey's that's so fun, Eric, is that you can cook and bake with it. It's real butter based.
Right.
So a lot of people think, oh, I can just make a hot toddy, and then they don't know what to do.
Right.
And so I love to be able to share some different recipes. And it's just, besides tasting good, it's a real quick time saver.
That's handy in this day and age, that's for sure.
Yes.
Everything is quick and easy.
It truly is. I mean, you can bake cookies with it. You can use it in savory applications. One of the things that I really like to do is spice nuts. And so I'm just going to take a little bit of Harvey's, and let me check my temperature here, make sure that we don't have it too high. Can't quite see with this mask on. There we go. I think I might have it just a little bit high here. But we're going to actually melt up a little bit of Harvey's. And this was actually a Harvey family recipe. They're spiced nuts, and they often gave them as holiday gifts.
I love spiced nuts in salads.
Yes, yes. We just melted it down here.
That's
and
beautiful too.
Can you smell that wonderful?
It's almost like a roux.
So it's ready to go. Put in some nuts. There we go. Those are just some pecans, and we're just going to coat them. And you can do about 1.5 pounds of nuts with one of the 11-ounce tubs of Harvey's, but you can see that's it. We're all set.
Fast. And for our people at home, this is about medium heat?
about medium heat. And you can see they're just all, I've kind of stirred it up right there, ready to go. You don't have to toast your nuts. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I won't, but that's it. And then we're just going to pour them out on a cookie sheet. And they're set to go. You can just break them up a little bit and you're all set.
Yes.
And if you like spice, it's really fun to add, maybe, depending on how much spice, maybe 1/8 a teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. And then I add that to the batter, stir it in before the nuts, and then I'd finish it with maybe a little kosher salt. So we're just going to wipe this out. Love these Tefal pans and easy breezy there. So we're just going to wipe that down. Okay, how about a little caramel sauce? Also made with Harvey's.
Twist my arm.
I should ask, any nut allergies before since I just wiped that out. Normally I would wash it, but being that we're right here and not back in the kitchen because they're busy back there. So it's about maybe half a cup or so of the batter to a 1/4 cup of cream. Again, you can make about as much as you want. So we're just going to actually do that. A little more batter. And we're going to pour in.
See, this
some
doesn't
cream.
stick or burn at all. Your proportions are must be a lot of butter to match the sugars and stuff that are in there. It's really nice.
So it might be a little high here. So that is just cream, some heavy cream, and some of the Harvey's, about half a cup of Harvey's to 1/4 cup of cream. We're just going to let that bubble for a second, melt together and bubble. This is awesome if you have company, unexpected company, and you need a quick dessert, on pound cake, on ice cream.
This would dress up anything.
Yeah. And again, the smells are incredible. I had to pull down my mask because I wasn't getting the full aroma.
Oh my goodness, it does make a heck of a difference.
Yeah.
It honestly takes about 2 minutes to do it. We're just going to let it bubble for a sec to thicken up, and it'll be ready to go. And while we're waiting on that, it's getting really close, is I actually took some puff pastry and just rolled it out a little bit, cut it into some squares, and put it in a little muffin pan. I chopped up one of those beautiful big Honeycrisp apples that are out now and tossed some chopped apple in Harvey's. And then what we're going to do here is we're just going to turn that off. We're going to just drizzle. I think I'm going to use a spoon because I'm not probably very good at pouring this saucepan. But we're just going to take a little bit of this and top these little apple bites.
Nice.
This is a dessert that you can have on the table in less than half an hour.
And it looks like you worked in the kitchen all day.
But again, this caramel sauce, it'll thicken up a little bit on some ice cream or pound cake. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I'll just warm up some batter and saute apples.
I noticed on your website you have all these recipes. And my favorite one, like I was talking to you earlier, that I'm going to try, is the pork chop. But instead of a regular pork chop, a loin chop or whatever, I'm going to do it with a smoked pork chop. And I think it's going to come out divine.
Harvey's, it pairs, Jeff, it pairs so well with different flavors. It's got the sweet with the spices, but to add a little of smoke or like the cayenne, it really pairs well. We actually have a shrimp dish on the website, kind of a Caribbean style recipe. And anyway, it's just, it's unexpected.
I like those kind of flavors together though.
So you can see that that's just, you know, it thickens
It's
up
beautiful.
a little bit. And, you know, who doesn't love having something quick when you have unexpected?
Exactly.
A crepe, banana foster crepe.
Ooh.
Put a little rum and then
crepe.
some bananas in there and roll it in a crepe is really good. And then over here, I was playing, we actually make cheesecakes for the Admiral, exclusively for the Admiral Theater, New York style cheesecakes made with Harvey's. And they have a Harvey's crust, and then the filling itself is your traditional New York style, and then we swirl Harvey's.
I can
So-
see that.
For the holidays, you guys get to try this one first. This actually, I was playing and I thought, let's do a pumpkin. This pumpkin's so popular, so I actually added part of the batter into the pumpkin, and then we also swirled the Harvey's. So you get that double dose of the crust and then the Harvey's pumpkin filling. And then
I'm starting to drool here. I think it's
we're going to finish off with some whipped cream that has been flavored with Harvey's. So that's just another little quick thing, some whipped cream. Instead of any sugar or anything, you just add a little bit of Harvey's and you have all the...
Well, this is what we've been waiting for.
With bated breath.
Exactly. So what goes in first on the best Harvey's hot buttered rum?
So we put a nice heaping spoonful of the batter. That's the
Okay.
magic, that little yellow tub of love right there.
Okay.
It is so rich and yummy. So we're going to just put a little bit of that in there. And I like to be a little generous. I just think it's...
Generous is good in my
generous,
book.
you know
That's the
what?
flavor right there.
We're having a treat here. Let's just
Do it right.
just do it right. So we're going to do a nice spoonful of the batter.
Okay.
So we are set to go.
And does the
And-
alcohol go next or the water?
You know what? I generally put the alcohol next. Would
That-
you
I
like
would
to
think
help
that.
me with that?
I would love that. So why don't we do one traditional rum and then two of this beautiful Heritage Distilling brown sugar bourbon. This is a great product.
It's wonderful, and they feature us on their menu where they do a hot Harvey's brown sugar bourbon on their menu. So that's why I thought it'd be nice to bring that out today.
I think that's great.
So we put about a shot. And some
That one
people-
was a little generous. Oops. Oh,
It's the
darn.
holidays.
It is the holidays.
It's the holidays. So then we're just going to actually add a little bit of hot water here. I had that ready to go, and it's just going to be nice and warm and steamy here. And these are actually pretty big mugs. These are actually
Yes,
very
they are.
large. They're a 14 ounce, so I'm just going to not fill that all the way.
No, we don't want it all full, or I'll have to add more alcohol.
More alcohol and more Harvey's. And so we're just going to stir that up, and it's just going to have a little creamy, sweet, warm you up for the holidays. And these two were the brown sugar here.
So this is brown sugar bourbon.
You know, one of the things, especially these days, there are people that don't like to indulge with alcohol, and there's other drinks that you can make. One of my other favorites is hot apple cider.
Oh, I never thought about that.
So you
Oh,
heat
this
up
would be-
heat up hot apple juice or apple cider, and stir in some Harvey's.
This is the Bacardi. The smell is amazing, absolutely amazing. You sell stock in the company?
No,
This,
not yet anyway.
I mean, I don't know why I keep getting so much apple flavor in here, but the butter, the rum, it all comes together so beautifully. I have never had a hot buttered rum even remotely this good.
Well, thank you. You know, Harvey started that recipe so many years ago, and I'm just honored. You know, it really was exciting to purchase the company in 2011, and
Well, tell us how he started.
how Harvey started.
Yes.
You know, he was quite the entrepreneur, and did so many things in his life. But when he started his batter, he was a bartender at the old Sportsman down, gosh, it was kind of near the Navy Yard many years ago. And he didn't like the batter that they were using in their drinks. So he said, let me bring mine in. So he had this beautiful recipe, and they made the drinks in the bar, and he said, well, I should probably be selling this. And so anyway, that's when he started. And when he got a little bit bigger, he started doing it after hours in the old Dairy Gold plant.
See, I mean, butter wasn't far away when he did that.
No,
That's
no.
so cool.
And so when it first started going out for distribution besides the restaurant, it was on the Dairy Gold trucks. And they used to do the home delivery route. So
Right.
that's how he first started. And the funny thing is my grandmother actually scheduled the routes.
Oh, how cool.
And my uncle was one of the drivers. They used to be in the dairy business, and they sold out to Dairy Gold. So I have this little bit, you know, I wasn't Harvey's family, but I had a connection
I say you
with the family.
earned the family now. Well, tell us what we have here, the first one we're going to taste.
Okay, this is a brand new flavor that we're just launching. That's buffalo and blue cheese.
Ooh.
So it is a kettle corn that's been seasoned with buffalo seasoning, and then the round one that you see actually is a blue cheese covered popcorn. And
Oh, so
we
there's two different-
Yes, there's two different flavors in there, and it's just this fabulous combo. You get the creamy blue cheese with a
Oh.
little bite of the kettle.
Well, you know, I'm not a big fan of popcorn, but I eat this.
Can't say that anymore.
Oh, man. And that's a serving size, right?
Well, there's a couple servings in here, but anyway, it's yeah. This is the buffalo blue cheese, brand new recipe. It's just starting to go out right now.
I can't wait for that to hit my area.
This one right here, that is our 3-cheese white cheddar. So we actually developed the recipe. We use 3 different types. It's a real cheese. It's a dried cheese powder. It comes from Spokane. And
But it's not that sawdust like we see in the store.
no,
This is
it
real
is.
cheese.
It is real cheese. And we actually make our own blend
my.
of the 3. And so you just get that real tang. It's a couple
But I love
sh-
how flavorful it is. Again, in perfect balance without overpowering the palate.
Thank you. Be nice with, you know, if you wanted to have a little popcorn.
You know, I
with
thought I
it
was
with
just going to have 1 or 2 pieces. Impossible.
Okay.
And these are beautifully shaped, so they must be the mushroom popcorn you were telling us
Yes.
about.
Yes. So this one right here is actually the butter rum. You can see it's just slightly deeper in color. It's our toffee recipe, and then we add real cinnamon, nutmeg, and rum flavor to it.
Is this what we saw on the
So
is it
they
line?
hadn't gotten to it yet. So
Okay.
that's what they're doing right now.
Okay.
And probably if I open that door, you'll smell all the spices. Or if you go
The
outside,
smell
you
of
smell
your
it.
entire operation is so beautiful, and there's so many different lovely scents.
Thank you. So
Melt in your mouth.
So that's that mushroom corn. It's just really the perfect type of corn for the toffee because it holds up to it. It's very soft and light and crisp, and it doesn't have the, you know, the hard shells or anything on there. So it just makes the perfect vehicle for the toffee.
I like how you can taste the butter as well as the toffee, and yet it's so delicate on the palate. I mean, it's not overpowering. It's not globbed on there. My goodness.
And this is original toffee, real butter toffee. And so that's just tried and true. English butter toffee over air popcorn, little kosher salt on the finish.
I haven't had anything here that I didn't absolutely love. I'm so glad we decided to feature you on Tasting the Peninsula.
Thank you. We're thrilled. We love to share. We love what we do here. So this one on the end, we saved that for last because that is truffle. And so it is, again, an air-popped corn that we do. It's flavored with Italian truffle oil, truffle salt, and some truffle seasoning. And so it has that earthy, little bit earthy, aromatic flavor.
And normally we would go from driest to sweetest, but because of the potency of this,
Oh man,
this is incredible.
great pick. Great pick.
Another brand new one that's coming out right here. So.
And
So how long have you been in the popcorn business?
So we started making popcorn the very end of 2014.
Well,
Yeah,
where
thank you.
locally can we find these?
So the Red Apple Markets are a great local organization. Safeway, a couple of the Safeway stores in Kitsap County have it. Ace Hardware Store and Wilco Farm
Nice.
Store, all local stores that carry the product.
Cool.
And people can mail order over the internet?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
they
I bet you
can.
have a fair amount of business that way.
You know, we do. We do it more as a service because people can't find it and they're looking for it. But we have that. And be sure if they go online and do that, they want to get the flat rate shipping because we help comp that.
Nice. I was going to say thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to have you on Tasting the Peninsula. I mean, one of my favorite shows.
Thank you. Just an honor. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That is lovely. It's subtle, it's rich, but it's not overpowering sweet, it's not overpowering creamy. It's just impeccably balanced, but the texture's absolutely amazing. I could never get a texture like this when I make
Thank you.
cheesecake.